I'm sitting in my office right now. It's late, probably around midnight. Most people have gone home hours ago, but for me, this is when my mind becomes clearest. The world quiets down. The distractions fade, and I get to think about what truly matters. Time. The one thing we all have in common, rich or poor, young or old. Everyone gets the same 24 hours a day. Yet, the results we get from those hours are radically different. Some people waste them, others use them to change the world. And I've learned the way you spend your time determines everything about the life you end up living. Let me ask you something. If I gave you $86,400 every single day and told you that whatever you don't spend by midnight disappears forever, how would you use it? You'd probably find a way to make every dollar count. You wouldn't waste it. You'd invest it, build something with it, multiply it. That's exactly how time works. You get 86,400 seconds a day, and every one you waste scrolling mindlessly, procrastinating, arguing about nonsense, you'll never get back. So here's my question to you. How are you spending your 86,400 seconds today? Comment below. I'm genuinely curious. Because once you become aware of how valuable each moment is, everything about your life begins to change. People often ask me, how do you manage your time when you're running so many companies? And honestly, it's not about managing time, it's about prioritizing it. You can't manage something that's constantly slipping away. You can only choose what you give your attention to. Attention is the real currency. Wherever your attention goes, your energy flows and your life follows. When I was building SpaceX, there were days I worked 120 hours a week. Not because I enjoyed the pain of it, but because I believed in the goal so strongly that it didn't feel optional. The rockets had to fly. The future depended on it. And when you have that kind of conviction, you stop asking how much time something takes. You start asking, is it worth my time? That's a completely different mindset. See, success doesn't come from being busy. It comes from being effective. There's a big difference. You can spend your whole day replying to emails, attending meetings, and feeling like you're working hard, but at the end of the day, nothing meaningful got done. That's not productivity, that's motion without direction. The truth is, most people aren't short on time, they're short on focus. I've seen engineers at SpaceX spend an entire week solving a problem that could have been fixed in 1 hour if only they'd questioned the assumption behind it. So, when I talk about spending time wisely, I'm not just talking about working harder, I'm talking about thinking deeper. Because thinking real, uninterrupted thinking is one of the rarest forms of work in the modern world. Most people are addicted to distraction. They wake up and the first thing they do is check their phone. They scroll through social media, see what everyone else is doing, and before they know it, half the morning is gone. And the irony? Most of those platforms are designed to steal your time. They want your attention. They've built algorithms that reward you for being impulsive and punish you for being focused. It's a system of control disguised as connection. If you want to be successful, you have to become ruthless about your time. You have to treat it like oxygen, because once it's gone, so is the opportunity that came with it. Every great invention, every company I've built, every breakthrough I've been part of, it all came down to how I chose to spend my hours. There were no shortcuts, no luck, just time used with intention. Now, let me be clear, I'm not saying you should work non-stop without rest. I believe in balance, but balance doesn't mean laziness. It means directing your time toward what truly matters. If spending time with your kids is important to you, schedule it, treat it like a meeting with the most important people in your life. If you want to read, learn, or build something new, don't wait for free time. You'll never find time, you make time. Here's a simple truth. If you don't schedule your priorities, someone else will schedule them for you. You'll end up living on other people's agendas, replying to their emails, reacting to their demands, following their timelines. That's how most people lose their day without realizing it. So I created something I call time chunking. I break my day into small, high-intensity segments where I focus on one thing at a time. No multitasking, no distractions. During that block, nothing else exists, and when it's done, I move to the next thing. It's simple but incredibly powerful. It's how I run multiple companies at once without losing my mind. But there's another side to this. You can't just optimize your time, you have to optimize your energy, because even if you have the perfect schedule, if your mind and body are exhausted, your time won't matter. That's why I work out, get sunlight, and occasionally just sit and think. Thinking is underrated. It's not wasted time, it's where new ideas are born. When you allow your brain space to breathe, you start connecting dots you didn't even know existed. That's when creativity happens. So yes, I spend a lot of time working, but I also spend time thinking quietly, away from noise. That's how ideas like reusable rockets, Tesla's full self-driving, or Neuralink's brain interface were born. They started as thoughts, small sparks that grew into entire revolutions because I gave them time to develop. If you're serious about success, stop measuring time by hours worked and start measuring it by value created. You could work 10 hours a day and accomplish nothing, or you could work 4 hours with focus and change everything. And one more thing, stop waiting for the perfect time. There is no perfect time. The universe doesn't send you a notification saying, "Hey, it's your moment now." You create the moment. Most people waste their lives waiting to start, waiting for the right opportunity, the right partner, the right mood. Meanwhile, time keeps passing. If you're waiting, you're losing. When I started SpaceX, people thought it was insane. You're going to build rockets? You'll fail. But I didn't wait for permission. I didn't wait for confidence. I acted, even when I wasn't ready. And that decision just starting was what made the difference, because time rewards action, not hesitation. So if you're sitting there thinking about starting a business, learning a new skill, or changing your life, do it now. The clock is ticking whether you move or not. The thing about time is it doesn't care. It doesn't slow down when you're tired. It doesn't pause when you're uncertain. It moves forward relentlessly, and if you're not moving with it, you're falling behind. The only real question is, are you using it, or is it using you? I've seen incredibly smart people waste years waiting for motivation. They tell themselves, I'll start when I feel ready, but here's the truth, you'll never feel fully ready. Readiness is an illusion created by fear. Every great step forward feels uncomfortable at first, because it takes you into the unknown. But that's where all progress lives, just beyond discomfort. If you want to use your time wisely, you have to reprogram your relationship with discomfort. Instead of running from it, move toward it. Every meaningful goal will stretch you, frustrate you, and demand more from you than you think you have. But when you commit to that growth, time becomes your ally, not your enemy. You start compounding results, like interest on an investment. Think about it. A single focused year can change your life completely, but 10 unfocused years can leave you exactly where you started. Most people underestimate what they can do in 1 year of intense focus and overestimate what they'll eventually do someday. There is no someday, there's only now. I've structured my life around this principle. I ask myself daily, is this the best use of my time right now? That one question helps eliminate a lot of noise. If the answer is no, I stop, I redirect. Because every yes you give to something unimportant is a no to something critical. You have to protect your time like your life depends on it, because in a way it does. You can lose money and earn it back. You can lose energy and recover it, but once time's gone, it's gone forever. That's why I rarely attend unnecessary meetings. If a problem can be solved over a quick email or a direct message, I don't waste an hour talking about it. Meetings should serve decisions, not destroy focus. People sometimes mistake this approach as being harsh, but it's not. It's respect for the limited time we all share. I tell my teams, let's move fast and make things. I don't want polished presentations. I want real progress. If we make mistakes, we learn and move faster. The faster we iterate, the faster we discover what works. Speed is a competitive advantage, and it's entirely built on how you use your time. When I look back, the times I've made the biggest breakthroughs weren't the times I was the most comfortable, they were the times I was willing to sacrifice convenience for purpose. While most people were watching Netflix, I was reading physics papers, engineering diagrams, and code, not because I'm superhuman, but because I chose to use my hours differently. Success doesn't require genius. It requires consistent, intentional use of time. But let me tell you something that might surprise you. I don't believe in hustle culture. I believe in intelligent effort. There's a huge difference. Working 16 hours a day means nothing if those hours are spent doing low-impact tasks. You could be burning time pretending to be productive. Real success is about leverage, using your time to create outcomes that multiply your results. For instance, in Tesla's early days, we didn't have the luxury of endless time or resources. So we focused on what would make the biggest difference fast, building a car people actually wanted. We didn't waste time on perfection, we aimed for progress. Once we had something working, we improved it. That's how time should be spent, moving from idea to action, then to refinement. And this applies to your personal life too. Spend time with people who elevate you, not drain you. Because the people around you influence how you use your time. Energy is contagious. Surround yourself with thinkers, doers, creators, people who challenge you to grow. If you spend time with those who complain or settle, you'll absorb that mindset. Time spent with mediocrity becomes mediocrity. Here's a fact that shocks most people. I still spend most of my time learning. Even now, I read constantly about science, history, AI, philosophy, because knowledge compounds. What I learned 10 years ago connects with what I learn today and helps me make better decisions tomorrow. So, if you want to use your time wisely, learn something every single day. Even 30 minutes of focused reading can change the trajectory of your thinking. And don't say, I don't have time to read. Everyone has time. You just have to steal it back from distractions. The average person spends over 2 hours a day on social media. That's 730 hours a year, almost a full month. Imagine what you could do with an extra month every year. Learn a skill, build a business, transform your body, deepen your relationships. That's the power of reclaiming your time. But there's another trap: burnout. People push so hard, they end up resenting their own goals. The key isn't to eliminate rest, it's to make rest intentional. I recharge by working on things I love. Even when I'm exhausted, thinking about Mars or sustainable energy gives me energy. Passion multiplies time because it removes resistance. When you love what you're doing, every hour feels alive. Still, I make time to disconnect. Sometimes I'll just sit quietly and think about the future, not from anxiety, but from curiosity. I ask, what would make the world better? What's worth building next? That's when ideas come. That's when time feels infinite. The paradox of using time wisely is that when you fill it with purpose, it no longer feels wasted. Another thing I've learned: success requires saying no a lot. I turn down opportunities all the time, not because they're bad, but because they're distractions. Every yes dilutes your focus. If it doesn't align with your mission, it doesn't deserve your minutes. Learn to say no, even when it's uncomfortable. Especially then. People sometimes assume I work 20 hours a day non-stop. That's not true. What I do is compress years of progress into months, because I refuse to waste time on what doesn't move the needle. It's about intensity, not duration. It's better to work like a laser for 5 hours than to scatter your attention for 15. If you want to train yourself to spend time wisely, start tracking it. Seriously, write down how you spend your hours for 3 days. You'll be shocked. Most people have no idea where their time goes. Awareness creates control. Once you see the waste, you can fix it. Replace 1 hour of distraction with 1 hour of creation, and watch how your life changes. And please stop glorifying busyness. Being busy doesn't mean being productive. It's often a sign of poor prioritization. The goal isn't to fill your schedule, it's to free it for what matters most. You should have time to think, build, and live. Time isn't a resource, it's the resource. Everything else flows from it. Spend it building something you'll be proud of when you look back years from now. When I look back on my life, I realize that every major turning point came down to how I decided to spend my time. Not luck, not timing, just choices, tiny, consistent choices that compounded over years. Most people underestimate how much power they have over their future simply by deciding where to place their attention right now. If you want to change your life, you don't need to change everything at once. You just need to change how you use 1 hour of your day. 1 hour a day of intentional effort can completely reshape who you are in a year. 1 hour of learning, building, or improving beats 10 hours of mindless scrolling or complaining. It's not the clock that matters, it's the consciousness behind how you use it. I've never considered myself particularly gifted. I just refuse to waste time. I've always believed that if I could outlearn and outwork everyone, the results would follow. Not because I'm special, but because time rewards those who respect it. If you can consistently direct your time toward meaningful progress, life has no choice but to yield results. I'm not saying you should become obsessed with productivity metrics or turn every moment into a checklist. That's not living, that's mechanical. What I'm saying is, live deliberately. Whatever you're doing, do it with purpose. If you're spending time with loved ones, be there fully present, not half distracted. If you're working, give it everything. If you're resting, rest completely. Presence multiplies the quality of your time more than any time management system ever will. And let's be honest, time doesn't just reveal your priorities, it exposes your truth. You can say your goals are important, but if your time doesn't reflect that, it's just words. People love to talk about what they want to do, but your calendar shows what you actually value. Look at it closely, it will tell you who you're becoming. When I was working on the first SpaceX rockets, failure wasn't a possibility, it was a reality. We failed 3 times. Each failure could have destroyed us. But I didn't see failure as wasted time. I saw it as tuition. Every setback taught us something that made the next attempt better. That's another key to spending time wisely. Learn fast. Don't let mistakes drain your energy, let them compress your learning curve. See, time doesn't punish you for failing, it punishes you for not learning. Every failure carries a hidden return on investment if you pay attention, and that's what most people miss. They think success means avoiding mistakes. It doesn't. Success means accelerating through them, using every experience as data to improve your next decision. I often tell young people, the biggest waste of time isn't making mistakes, it's avoiding them. The longer you wait to act, the more time you lose, in the name of fear. Take imperfect action now. Time refines your skill through experience, not through endless preparation. But let's talk about something deeper. The ultimate measure of spending time wisely isn't just productivity, it's impact. When I think about how I spend my time, I ask myself, will this matter in 10 years? In 100? That question eliminates 90% of distractions. Because in the grand scheme of things, most of what we obsess over daily won't matter. What matters is whether we used our time to create something that outlives us. I believe everyone should think about legacy not in an ego-driven way, but as a compass. What contribution are you making with your time? Are you building something that improves life for others? Because when your time serves something bigger than you, you gain access to a different kind of motivation, the kind that doesn't fade. Purpose stretches your time. It makes long hours feel lighter. That's why I work on things like interplanetary travel, renewable energy, and brain-computer interfaces. These aren't just projects, they're extensions of my belief that our time on Earth should push humanity forward. If I'm going to spend my hours, I want them to expand what's possible for everyone. That's how I define wise use of time, doing something meaningful enough that when you're gone, time still echoes your effort. Now, let's bring this down to you. How do you start spending your time wisely from this moment on? Start with clarity. Ask yourself, what am I really trying to achieve? Most people never take the time to define their destination. Without clarity, every road looks tempting, and that's how time gets lost. Once you know your goal, cut everything that doesn't serve it. Ruthlessly eliminate the noise. Your focus is sacred. Next, create systems. Willpower fades, but systems sustain you. If you want to write a book, block a specific hour daily to write. If you want to get fit, schedule workouts like appointments you can't miss. Don't rely on motivation, rely on structure. The structure protects your time from emotion. Then, track your progress. Every week, look back and ask, did I use my time on what truly mattered? If the answer is no, adjust immediately. Don't drift unconsciously. Awareness is your steering wheel. Finally, remember this. Time spent being curious is never wasted. Curiosity drives innovation. It opens new doors. The reason I keep exploring new industries isn't boredom, it's curiosity. I want to understand how things work and how they can be improved. That mindset keeps life exciting and ensures that every hour spent learning contributes to something greater. If you're young, listen carefully. Your time is your greatest leverage. You have the energy to experiment, to fail, to rebuild. Don't spend it chasing trends or pleasing people who don't care about your future. Spend it building skills, ideas, and habits that compound. The return on invested time in your 20 seconds and 30 seconds is exponential later in life. If you're older, it's never too late. The moment you start respecting time, it starts respecting you. You can reinvent yourself at any age. The key is to start now. Every day you delay is one more opportunity you'll never get back, and please stop comparing your timeline to others. Everyone's journey unfolds differently. Comparing your time to someone else's is like comparing different universes. Focus on your own mission. You're not late, you're just in motion. Let me end with this thought. One day, your time will run out. No matter how rich, powerful, or ambitious you are, time is undefeated. The clock never stops. And when that day comes, the only question that will matter is, did you spend your time building something that mattered? So, from this moment forward, treat every second as a seed. Plant it with purpose. Nurture it with action. Protect it from distractions. And let it grow into something that leaves a mark. Use your time to build, to love, to learn, to create. Because in the end, the goal isn't just to have spent time, it's to have used it well. Now tell me, how will you use your next 24 hours? Comment below. I want to hear your plan, your dream, your intention, because the clock is already ticking, and what you do next will determine